Rightio team, welcome to episode 64 of the Yarns podcast, joined by local Waikato football legend, Mr. Jarrod Young. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Didn't like that one.
No, definitely not.
It's going to be a good chat today, I think. If you're not too sure of who Jarrod is, we're going to dive into him, his history, and then talk about his plans for the future, taking over Waikato sport. But let's dive straight into it, bro. Jarrod, where'd you grow up? How was that? Talk us a bit about your background.
Yeah, nice. Grew up here on a farm and in Hamilton. So parents were split up quite early. So had the uniqueness of farm life versus town life on the weekends, which was quite cool. My dad played for Morrinsville Football Club, so I always grew up around there. We just had a game with him for a catch-up 50th match or something like that, so that was cool. Grew up in Chartwell. Fond memories of playing for Boys High, Fairfield Intermediate, playing for Boys High, playing under Declan Edge, which we'll touch on later on. He was a big part of my who I am and my development, and then going over to Wanderers, as you can see, and it's kind of full circle moment to be back
I'm sure we'll touch
there.
on that.
We will. And then playing for them, playing Prems, going on to National League, moving to Auckland, moving to Papamoa, and then back to the Waikato. So it's kind of been
Nice. You say you went to Fairfield College?
Intermediate.
Fairfield Intermediate. What college did you go to?
Touch College, right?
Oh,
no. Boys High.
Boys High.
I used to bike past the college.
Yeah. Because didn't, I'm going to get this wrong, Marco Rojas went to Fairfield College.
No, he went to Fraser.
I knew it began with an F.
Yeah.
Were you same year as him playing?
No, he was a few years older.
Yeah.
But he came back when I was coaching like a fourth team at Wanderers when I was in the first team. That was my first coaching gig. And he came to do, I don't know, he was just at the Phoenix then, so he came back to, show his face. Great guy.
Yeah.
And he actually joined in the first team training.
Oh, nice.
And I remember making a Facebook status. Then I just passed the ball to Marco Rojas. I was so excited. He was a legend, so humble.
The Kiwi Messi, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, if you don't know, like, your career kind of got cut short with some concussions in that. But what was it like tracking towards it? Because not many people will probably know, especially like now you're in the coaching the youth space. Not many people might know how good and how close you were to sort of making it, I reckon, as an international. But what was that journey through to like breaking the first team and then sort of onwards towards your injuries?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, I grew up in a time where physicality was a big thing, especially in the like under 17s and 20s, especially going to the islands. So I still remember it. Baisley was actually who's coach at All Whites now. I talked to him quite regularly, but he was taking the 17s, and I remember him pulling me aside saying, like, technically you're the best player out there, or one of them, but physically there's just no chance, because I was really small. I was kind of gutted with that. So there was nothing you could kind of do about it, physically. So I missed that, and I knew some people that went there and they were physically big, not technically good, and I was a little bit annoyed. But so I missed out on that. But I was playing first team from 15, 16 for Wanderers. There was a spot open at right back. I wasn't a right back, but I took it. Got my ass kicked in most games from Ryan Thomas and Mao Tade when he first came over. That was good memories. But I learnt a lot. Scored a lot of goals going forward, so I stayed on the team. So like I was kind of fitted into a team. We were super good, to be fair. We finished second in the Prems a couple of times, and we had a really good team. Federico, Ricky, Adam, Johnny. It was a super team. Then I went on I wanted to make National League. So I remember Peter Smith came in for Waibop. Just a name drop someone, but he reached out to everybody, and Waibop just formed after Waikato, and he reached out to people on the bench even, but not me. And I was like, oh, look, I don't think I was good, but I was like, oh, at least a reach out.
So
I was like, okay. So I messaged YTAC for some weird reason. That's when they were competing with Auckland City, like they're the best two teams, and Waibop was probably down the bottom. And they said, oh yeah, come in for pre-season. I thought it was going to be with the youth, and then went in. It was with the first team, so I was a bit shocked. And then I don't know, I just did really well. Came to the start of the season because the youth team kicked off a little bit later, and then I was first one off the bench and stuff, and I was kind of shocked but happy. So I've gone from not getting a mention from bottom of the table to, being first sub on for top.
Yeah.
And then, Waibot came to town, and I scored
Yeah.
against them when I came on. And
Nice. Yeah.
I remember doing an article afterwards, like, yeah, God did. And then the next year, I moved back to Hamilton, and Peter Smith hit me up pretty much straight away, which
Yeah.
was full circle moment, funny.
Yeah.
So then I did that. And then from there, Roger Wilkinson, who's a big person in my life, a big mentor for me. He used to be technical director of New Zealand, and
Oh, right.
he's very knowledgeable and amazing jokes. If you've ever know his jokes, it's great. But so he was at Fencibles, who were in Div 2 currently.
Right.
So I just played a game against Canterbury, National League, and he's like, "Look, come with me. I'll get you a trial in England." Like, he showed me all these clubs that he, make contact with, but come play for a year because we need to get promotion.
Right.
So I waited up, and I was like, all right. And then, so I did it, and then enjoyed my time there. It was different, especially going from National League to Div 2 in a pre-season game. I went, oh, this is a bit different, but I loved the club, loved everything about it. But that was, halfway through that year is when I got my real bad concussion. So I had ones growing up, little ones, but that was the one where I was in hospital and in bed for 6 months, and quite severe. So the reason why I talk about that is because I was planned to go to England for trials. I don't think I would have cracked it in England. I don't think I was the player type to go over there, the profile. I think you don't know. Like, I probably had the best career I've ever dreamed of. I don't know. Who knows? But I think A-League possibly would have been just out of reach, but that would have been my limit. I don't think anywhere else. But I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, like it's the best career you've had. It's also the only one you've had, so it's hard to compare. But at the time, as a young fella, that's got to be pretty gutting. You've dropped down Division 2. You go, fuck, I'm actually going to get, a crack at England, which is like every footballer's dream. Like playing in Europe. I don't care what level it is, but playing in Europe is pretty special.
Yeah.
So you're like, how was that? Sitting in hospital going, fuck, like this.
Oh, it was insane because like my whole life I based it off being a footballer. Like, people knew me at school as the footballer. I dropped out in year 13 just to train football. So, and then I moved to Auckland, and all I knew was football people. So then all of a sudden I'm in this room at a family that took me in, who are like so close to me. They treated me like their own kid, and there's some kid dying in their spare room, and they're looking after me. So it was really, it was extremely hard mentally. And then obviously, like, the chemicals in your head, there was an imbalance as well from the concussion. So like, it was a really tough time, knowing that it was probably done. Because I just felt like, shit. So
was there ever like a fallback plan if football didn't work, or were you sitting there going, fuck, what can I do now?
I don't believe in a fallback plan because I feel like if you're not committed to your number one thing, you're not going to make it anyway. And it's funny, I talk to people all the time, like, look how I've made a job in the industry that I tried to get into, just different. Like, when I was growing up, there was no like director of footballs or full-time coaches. So that wasn't even a thing. But I just tried to make it work in this world, and then I just made do with what I had, and then got into this, and now I'm full-time into football. Who would have thought? But no, I had no backup plan, and it was probably truck driver or something.
So how soon after you realize, okay, the playing side's not going to go well to the like levels you wanted to get to, how soon after that are you going, okay, how can I shift my focus to get into coaching, and then how did that lead on to sort of director of football roles, or because you were doing some work at Papamoa, weren't you, for a while?
Well, I was always coaching, always like holiday programs, academies on the side. And when I was at Fencibles, when I was still playing, I was director of football at a school, and I was doing loads of coaching. So I already knew, like, I loved it, giving back. I was just finding who I was, how I deliver messages, my tone, blah, blah, blah. I was young and figuring it out, but I knew I loved it. Then... I'd always do all the jobs for Roger. He was director of football, and I'd run the holiday programs and stuff. So I had all the experience already. And once I stopped the club. Fencibles, big part of my heart, Fencibles, but they were trying to get me to stop playing because they saw, like, I kept on trying to come back. And it was hard because, like, football was my identity. I was okay at it, especially for that level. And And then the coach was like, you want this player to help, but then also put him on the field when he's in danger. So a little bit stubborn. I used to, come back and play. I remember our physio quit on me because I
Wow.
kept on coming back in. Like she just cared, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
looking back, I feel horrible.
yeah.
Um, so they offered me positions to stop me from playing, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Justin Green, actually, real good guy. He's the one that said, like, I'll give you the first team job if you just stop playing.
Right, yeah.
And that was coming from a good part of his heart, and that's
Yeah,
how I
yeah.
got that. And then once I got hooked into it, it was a tough year though when I got that first team job, because I went from playing with these players and going out drinking or having a good time with
Mm.
them to now going, oh, you're not good enough, or
Yeah, yeah.
and that was an interesting time.
Yeah, I think I was actually watching a podcast the other day with Kenny Dalglish. Like
Mm,
his he was obviously a player coach.
mm,
How do you navigate that? All of a sudden the players are probably going, bro, like go away. Like we're trying to,
yeah,
do our
yeah.
thing here. How do you navigate that going from
I had to make a decision real early. I had to go, like, am I here to be a football coach,
mm,
or am I here to be a mate? What's my career? So I
mm,
picked football coach, and
mm,
that's my career, or whatever I want to do, director of football. And I think in the long run that would have helped people anyway, given the truth.
mm,
So look, I lost a good mate, and we're all good now. Like we chat
yep,
now, but like I personally thought when I was playing, he wasn't good enough for the way we wanted to play. He had good attributes and other things, but the way I wanted to play, and I always thought that, I never said it. Um, and then when I was a coach, I said, well, if this is what I want to do, I have to be
yeah,
brave enough to make these decisions. And I did. And yeah, he didn't play and went somewhere else. And I tried to do it in the best way, sat him down. But of course, you're going to take it how you want to take it, right?
mm,
We'll jump into it later, but people react on their traumas or how they're raised. So they take it how they're going to take it.
yeah,
So yeah, I lost a few friends, and it was actually a really hard time. But my guiding light was, no, I'm doing this to be better at what I'm doing. And I made that decision early
mm,
on. And yeah, but I figured out a good balance
yeah. I
once.
think
Yeah.
a lot of coaching in this country at sort of Southern Conference and below, wherever you're in the country, whatever your Southern Conference version of that is, but there's a lot of that. You were the player for so long, and now you're a coach.
Mm,
I can think of a few examples. You know, off the top of my head, it is a massive switch,
mm,
and I think I don't have that kind of personal experience, but the control of the dressing room is obviously massive. And if you're a player now you're a coach, they see you as a mate. What step? I mean, you said there, just be brave and do it. But like, how can you help other coaches see that? Because I've seen other coaches in that exact environment.
mm,
They don't know how to talk to them other than being a mate.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to get results. They want to get results.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess like what other ways can you navigate making that jump?
I don't know. It's so hard. Like I think, I personally think of my coaching, everybody's different as well. So every
Mm,
relationship with a player is different.
mm,
Um, so for another example, like I had a good mate in that team too, Carl,
mm,
still playing, really good mate. And, I took that approach differently. Like me and him would meet more regularly. I'd bring him up, make him a part of it,
mm,
but from a football, not from a mate.
right.
But it was almost like it was because I respected him as a mate that I'm having more meetings with him.
Mm,
Um, but at the end of the day, like I would make some calls at training or say some things that he knew that, that this is a
mm,
coach player relationship. And when we're away from football, that's when we're friends. But I also think like if you get caught out talking to him like you would as a mate at football,
mm,
people are going to lose respect for you straight away.
right.
And I think it's all like life is all about respecting people,
Mm.
and you can lose that really quickly in football,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um, or you can gain it really quickly. But I don't know. I
Mm.
don't I don't think there's a blueprint to it, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think there's all tricks you can do. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like setting boundaries. What sort of importance are you putting on having the right people around you? Because like that's tough on you. Like you
Mm,
go, fuck, I am their mate. Yeah. What sort of importance are you putting on having the right people around you that
mm,
you can bounce ideas off outside of the team and
mm.
have that support network?
It's massive. Like in my first year, it was a really cool moment because I had this guy growing up, Pete,
Mm.
Pete Davies. He's passed away now. What a person in my life. He
Right.
was just like he didn't know much about football at all, right? But he watched it, he loved it.
Yeah.
But what I give him credit now, looking back at like learning about all these philosophies and how you deliver football and how you teach, what he did so well is he just went, I think football's about two touch, move the ball quickly, high intensity,
Yeah.
play. And he let the players like be creative. Um, and that's amazing because we're, as these young coaches coming into it or new coaches, you just overcomplicate things and you think you've got to be this, that, inverted. He just went 4-3-3, moved the ball quickly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what he focused on. And for an example, I remember me and my mate LeBon, one of my best mates, I think I had a goal. He had two goals. This was for the under 17s.
Yeah.
And we come off and me and him are like, yeah, we've done well here. And he just rips us in the changing room. And I'm like, and I remember we scored even more goals afterwards. And I talked to Pete afterwards. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to wind you up. And he's just that guy. Like, he's
Yeah.
just hilarious. Loved him to pieces. And yeah, he actually came in to be my assistant when I first took over. So
Yeah.
that was brilliant. That gave me a lot of help, and he was just a straight up guy, and you just followed him. He was a proper leader.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot off him, and you didn't mess with him either, you know, like, and so I think that helped with the player relationship too, that they knew I had somebody that was, yeah, going to steer me straight a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Oh, awesome, man. So obviously you're still coaching now. You've had some very successful seasons. It's some unsuccessful seasons.
Mm.
But how have you managed to then go on to these director of football roles and been relatively successful? I'm not too sure what your role was. Was it director of football at Peppermire?
Yeah,
Was it
director of
Otamoto
football.
or Peppermire?
Peppermire.
It was
Yeah.
Peppermire. Yeah. How do you make that switch to be like, no, I'm actually now going to run
Yeah.
the footballing side of the whole club?
So at Fencibles, like, played for 5 years. We got promoted. I was captain of that, player coach as well, and then coached them for the last year. And then they wanted to go in a different direction. I wasn't qualified then either. Like, I was getting my qualifications, and had a new person come in the helm, and you know, I probably didn't agree with the direction. No, I agreed with the direction, just not possibly the way they went about it.
Yeah.
But I love the club, so that was fine. And then so I went, well, I need to go learn to be, if I'm going to be full time in the game, I need to be a director of football. I need to go
Right.
learn to be a director of football. Papamoa came up, and then I went for an interview, and I got it. So we packed up and moved.
Yeah.
And I learnt a lot under Maka, who's there. I'm actually back as an advisor for them now, and
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I've learnt a lot of him. He's brilliant. But yeah, going to run the club, like, yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people think as a director of football or a paid employee that you should be doing absolutely everything because volunteers do a lot and then they don't get paid, so then they think you should be doing it.
Right.
But you know, you're paying for, you know, experiences, direction, you know, like, for an example at TA, which is closer to you, is like, you know, I'm coming in creating a curriculum, delivering a curriculum, educating coaches, creating academies, delivering that curriculum, giving a pathway for players to go up to the first team. At Papamoa, we didn't have any youth, so I had to create the youth, bring that into the first team because it was a very old first team that did well under a really good coach beforehand, but then they needed youth to go long term.
Yep.
So yeah, it was fixing problems, giving directions, doing this, giving experience to the board. You know, boards are just volunteer people as well. So you're paying for a lot. So it's like, and it gets tough because yeah, people think you should be cleaning the change rooms and stuff because you know you're the paid employee or you should
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
down, and I fell into that trap and I did all that, and I'm working 7 till 9 each day trying to do as much as I can just to please everybody
Yeah.
when
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not focusing on the things I should be. So it is tough. The perception is interesting, but I guess no one knows what a director of football fully is if you're just an average person, right? So you probably look at it and go, well, they're just sitting around doing nothing, but yeah, it was interesting, but it was good. I learned a lot under Maka. Yeah, fixed a problem with the youth, like some of the youth players that I brought in and trained as like a little academy. Morgan's top goal scorer at the Prems for Tauranga. You know, got some real success stories out of that, and they're all doing well. So, and I've just gone back, watched some under 19s trainings with kids that I coached when they were like 13 that are in there now, and it's quite
Yeah.
cool to see. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult, but it's rewarding. It's just there's a lot of noise
Yeah.
from people all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Is it because you're with TA now? I
Yep.
coach at TA.
Mm.
Papamoa. How long ago was Papamoa?
3 years ago.
Okay.
4 years, 3 or 4 years, something like
Yeah. So there's a lot of time to obviously learn
that.
in that kind of space. What have you found coming into this role at Te Awamutu? Because Te Awamutu's never had a DOF. Like I go to the pub in TA and you get the older boys there that have been around the club just going, why the fuck have TA got a DOF? I think that's 100% why the reason probably why TA need a DOF is because we're almost always going to be stuck in this same cycle. You know, having like so many stuff. So it's like, what's is it the same challenges here that you found at Papamoa? Like, how's this transition been?
Every club's different. Obviously, I've learned a lot. Like my focus is also with like helping out the board and how they deal with things too, in terms of like how they deal with certain people, or I'll be the one to have those hard conversations, or I'll do this and I'll do that. And because the board's unbelievable, by the way, they're fantastic. They're really running this club well, but it is the same focus-ish. Like the youth is non-existent in a way. So that needs to be fixed. When I launched the academy too, like the positive feedback from that was enormous, because it wasn't just the coaching, but it was like, we've never had coaching on our doorstep with high quality coaching with a direction and a purpose. And, you know, so that's been fantastic. It will take a long time to keep those players to go through, because they've hit like this wall of there's nowhere else to go. So they're going to go to a TDP club and stuff like that. So you're always going to have those problems. But no, it's the same curriculum, guidance, coach education for next year, because I came in halfway through the year. Let me take the academy, upskilling academy coaches with me, holiday programs, first kicks, everything I've redone. I deliver them myself. Like I've been at every program, every session. And then, you know, five-a-side, I'm, you know, blowing the horn and organising it, and then playing in it as well. So yeah, we're trying to. But like,
we got you next week, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm coming for you.
Oh, okay. Don't wear your copers. But the direction is needed. Like, and what I find is when you go into these clubs is like they're trying to do the right things, but they're limited because they don't have that experience or understanding of where to go and how to do it. And coaching is teaching, and it's education, and it's you know, you can have some experienced coaches or people with licenses, but sometimes they just don't know how to deliver that message across, right? So it's you just, yeah, you need it. And look, noise is noise, right? Like I've had a lot of noise lately, obviously, but I have two parts of my personality. Like I'm real caring, and I just want what's good for people and players. And I probably based my personality too much on that in the past, because when you care so much and you do so much, and when someone turns around and doesn't appreciate it or talks shit,
it's hard.
it hurts more.
Yeah.
But I also have this like, can you swear on this podcast?
Yeah, bro.
I also have this like personality. It's like, yeah, fucking come on then, gloves on or off, you know, like and that's what's got me through quite a lot. And, you know, competitiveness, and I'm almost like, you know, I love stirring the pot a little bit, especially if I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm actually doing it right. So it's like, come on then, say what you want to say. Because most of it, like I've never had a person, by the way, or maybe one or two, but I respect those people and we're good mates. You don't have haters or people, whatever you want to call haters, or people saying their opinions come to you and say it. You never do. Like they always say it to other people, because one, they don't know the full facts. Two, they're not brave enough to come actually talk to you. And then, so yeah, I just find it's funny, and it's their sad little lives with their trauma that they're trying to.
100%, man. Like when you got the Wanderers job this time around, like someone went and made a fake profile to talk shit on. It's so funny that happens. Like, and it's like, what a waste of energy. What a way. And like you said, and you've touched on this a few times, and I think it's a massive part of your, like, philosophy is a bit of a buzzword in this situation, but I think it is a massive part of your philosophy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like really understanding where people are coming from. And I think that you could probably say that you've learnt that over the past 10 odd years through your journey. There must have been points where you've wanted to throw your head in, because I'm looking at the walls you've come up against in Te Awamutu alone, and you haven't been here long. And that's a long time on the job. If you think about, you know, just time at Fencibles through to Papamoa through to here, as well as coaching your first team, as well as trying to balance a home life. You know, you've got a kid on the way, and you seem to be taking on more work. How have you?
My wife.
Yeah, nice. The real rock. But yeah, I guess the question there is, how are you balancing all of this, and how
Mm,
close have you come to throwing it in and going, fuck, it's not worth it? Because
mm,
you are very passionate
mm.
about what you want to do.
Yeah, I've thought about throwing it in lots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm forever evolving, like in how I think and how I do things, and I think I've hit a new like I had a new philosophy on how I deliver football
Mm.
recently this year, and now I've had a new one on how I think as well. And I think I just forgot who I was. I forgot that I had that side of me that's like, oh, like I understand everybody. Like I understand where you're coming from. Like I understand like I can see your past trauma and understand why you've taken it that way or why you're having an attack on me.
Mm.
And it never has anything to do with me, ever.
Yeah.
You know, when people ever go, like it's a part of their own trauma, their own way
Mm.
of taking things. So I understand that. So that's why it hurts even more when they do it. But then I also forgot that I also have that personality that's like, fuck you, like as well.
Yeah.
Like, all
Yeah.
good. I just keep doing me. Like, you know, I know that I'm doing it for the right reasons. And I know, like, for an example, like I had a kid that I recently got back in touch with. He's 20 now. He's playing for Ella's League. Fantastic. Doing his thing for Auckland. He's doing a great job doing the graphics and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And I took him to 19s for Papamara, and he was a reserve keeper. I spoke to him and his parents before we left and said, like, you're probably not going to get much game time, you know, like
Mm.
19s is we're here to win. We wanted to get promoted, and
Right.
and it just it is what it is, right? Do you still want to come? Yep, yep, yep. And then just because of the way it was, we lost one game in the group and then we had to win, and then there was no like time to play him, and then went into the quarters, and then we
Mm.
went into, and so there was no time I could just go, oh yeah, chuck, go on for half a game or something, right? And then I remember, all good, no issue. And then I remember, yeah, I bumped into him and he goes, yeah, I hated you for a year. I
Right.
hated you
Yeah.
because you didn't play me. But now I look back and go, well, actually, where would you have played me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I learned from that and everything, And
Mm.
so I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
someone hated me. Maybe that was a deeper word than what it should be. But like, didn't like me for a long time
Mm.
because of the decision that was correct,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
like, and yet now he's perfectly fine and knew that it was about, development in his own life as well. Like,
Mm.
how do you handle resilience? Like,
Yeah.
how do you, so, um, yeah, it's quite, because that was his trauma, like
Mm.
dealing with that was on him, not me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, we get that a lot. And back to the question is, yeah, especially when last year we got relegated, and I think, when you lose, all the noise comes in.
Mm.
Um, and we were doing things right, but we had like, not throwing digs, but we had like the lowest budget in the league. Nobody wanted to sign for us because all the players left from the year before because they went overseas or retired and
Mm.
stuff like that. We had these academy kids come in that you were not mentally ready. They didn't have anybody to learn off, like all the like changing room stuff that they need to think about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't say that to your coach. Come talk to me first, and like this is why you're not playing. Even though I talked to him about that,
Yeah.
and kids take things how they want to take things, so they're
Mm.
young and developing, right? So that was tough. No support, very limited support, and then everybody has their opinions. And I was never fully, probably, what's the word, like welcomed there. It's a very, yeah. Anyway, I got my own opinions, but didn't feel the warmth there anyway. So it was it was a tough year, that one, and I did
Right.
feel like giving it up because I didn't feel like I was getting the rewards of the time I put in. People would talk to you about things that, like, the biggest one that pissed me off was like, and I get it, I get you're a fan, but like you come and support or whatever, you see 10% of the team
Yeah.
because 90%, like, you have no idea. Like, they could be like, for an example, oh, I would have played Jim at right wing because I just think he's in better form or something, blah, blah, blah. That's their opinion, right? Cool.
Yeah.
But you have no idea how the opposition play out, how we're trying to press to get success. We might have identified, yep, their left back's the weak link, and if we have this person pressing, they're going to win us the game. They're going to get the ball high, and then we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
possibly score. But the person you want, yeah, he might be the better dribbler or whatever, but he's not the better presser. So we've got the
Mm.
better presser, and then that's going to possibly win us the game. And even if you win, they'll still turn around and go, "Oh, I would have played that guy," or "That's my
Yeah.
opinion." So you're only getting like 10%. It's like we sit here for like the Premier League and go, "Ah, Arnie Slot, I would have played this guy," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, nice," but like you have no idea what the fuck they're doing for the games. You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
no idea what trainings are like. You have no idea about any of that. You see 10%, and
Mm.
it's so that's frustrating. Um, And just hearing everybody's opinion. And then I had to go to deliver to the academy, and you get the parents like, oh, yeah, it didn't go so well. And then there was an old coach that's coach there for forever. He was on the board, and he was out to get me, tried to get me fired in the second year. And he
Wow. Yeah.
has a son, and he's older now. And I didn't let him coach in the academy because it didn't fit my values.
Mm.
And then he didn't like me. And then they go around, convincing parents that I'm the worst thing ever. And so then you get all that noise, and you're just here purely to help people, and
Mm.
you're getting all that noise.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to go home, and I got into a bad way. I think I used to think like everybody was thinking about Melville and the results and me. So if I went out in public with my wife, I was nervous that like you feel people's energy, and sometimes people are like looking at you, and you're like, because I don't know any of these parents either. A lot
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
the ones that hate you don't know. The ones that love you, you know, because they come up to you.
Yeah.
But the ones that don't like me, I'm like, do you like me? Do you not? Are you the
Yeah.
parent? Like, and I'm a straight up person. I'm not gonna like, if you don't like me, I'm not gonna come
Mm.
and say hello. Like,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you if you want to talk about the issue, but I ain't gonna
Yeah.
fake it. Like, So yeah, it was some tough times, for sure.
Mm.
But I have learnt, in the last year that I'm doing the right thing. It's not all about just trying to help people now. Like that was my personality. That's why it hurt so much when I got backlash. Now it's about like I am trying to help people, but I'm also need to know people are going to take it how they take it because of their
Mm.
past traumas or how they're raised and stuff like that. So I can't change you. I can't change anybody.
Mm.
So I've just got to accept that. Just got to keep chugging along and doing me, and you know
Yeah.
I am what you say I am. Like Eminem once said. Shout out Eminem. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. um, I think you're doing an incredible job. I think coming to a place like Te Awamutu and like anywhere like that, like there's a lot of towns like this in New Zealand. There's a small town mentality. Everyone knows everyone. Change is like no one likes change. Like in these towns, and this is just me going off like how I've known Te Awamutu growing up there. And I can only use Te Awamutu as an example because I grew up in Te Awamutu. The change will come, and then when you start to see success, people will be like, "Oh, I always backed them." Like, I knew that was going to happen. But right now, it's clear to see that there are some roadblocks. As far as this new change coming in. Where do you see the next 10 years? And it might not just be Te Awamutu. Where do you see your journey going, and what do you want to see different in the space that you can impact yourself?
Yeah, good question. I think the game is heading where you can't, no clubs can really afford a full-time director of football anymore. But the need for a full-time director of football is still relevant. Like it's a need. You need it. You need direction, like I was talking about before, and you need experience. But people can't afford it, funding and all that type of stuff. And it just goes back to this year of Melville, like lost funding, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden your full-time wage is gone. So then I know that's not a thing that can possibly go forward anymore. So like what I want to do is like give that experience as much as I can to clubs with a way smaller capacity and a way smaller cost, like barely anything, and you're just giving some advice, like I call it advisor, like I'd
Yeah.
advise you on these things and give you direction still, but might not be on the grass as much for things because you can't pay me full time, which is fine, but I'd have to take up more roles to make it full
Mm.
time for myself, but also still helping everybody in this in the direction they're going. So I think it is heading in that direction. I know probably the first thing people think is like, oh, he's money grabbing at different clubs, but it's honestly, if you found out what I was on, you'd laugh. Stupid. It's not that much at all. So then, like, they don't get that it's purely about helping people that couldn't afford, a director of football. And I think that's where it's going. And you don't want to see these clubs fall away, because the board is run by volunteers, right? And you're just lucky if you get a good volunteer that knows something about football and has a good business mind and has the right attributes, right? It is very hard, and you could be doing really well, and then a new board members come on and they have their opinions. I've seen it time and time again, and most recent this year, where people come on, they have their opinions and their way of thinking. It's not like they're not out to hurt anybody, but like that's their limited education,
Yeah.
um, and they start making decisions based on that actually affect the club long term. And then you sit back and you wonder why clubs lose it. Like there's big one, like Buckland's Beach, when I was at Fencibles, they were taking over. Like Fencibles were here, but they were coming up. The first team was getting promoted. Their academy, their federation was doing really, really well. And then, like, they were about to jump over Fencibles, and then TDP came in, and you had to apply for TDP. And Fencibles did it. They had new board members that went, I feel like everybody should get the same, like even the social people and stuff like that, which social people make your club, but like they're training once a week. They don't need a training kit or whatever, like it's relative to how often you train or competition. And so they went, no, we're not going to do it. So then all the players jumped over to Fencibles, and Fencibles became this massive thing, and they just faded away. And it's like that happens all the time. And it was just an opinion, a decision based on an opinion of a parent. And so I think it's really needed from either New Zealand football needs to step in my opinion, and go, here's a blueprint on how to run clubs for volunteers. All clubs are unique, but here's like a overall blueprint. Or you have a director of football helping you with the football matters, and you do the other matters. But that's never the case anyway. And it's So long term, I think helping multiple clubs, but also like I want to get into the teaching space as well. I think I want to get into a school, and long term I just want to be either teacher aide or a director of sport or something, and affecting kids at school. I really enjoy like the intermediate age as well, so I'd ideally get into that, and then help out clubs or coach on the side for almost my love of it.
Do you reckon there's like space for like an entity, and you could use New Zealand football for this, or you could have regional entities where it's like yourself, maybe like a Joe Hines, or I'm just throwing names out there, other people with your level of knowledge in the football space, but also how a club should be run, where it's not just you spreading yourself over 20 clubs. You've got like almost a board, right? And there's like 5 director of footballs, and like each one has 3 clubs. Is that like it? Like, is that like a direction you would go down, or is that what you're trying to achieve essentially? Or
I mean, that's one way of doing it for sure. The other way of doing it is a possibility of you just merge and have one club representing the high end of football in the Waikato, like Te Moana did. Like I was a part of that merger, and you bring everybody together. Everyone still stays, but the talent development, the TDP come together. You have all the best coaches, the best facilities. Your team would be hitting National League every year. Like if you combined all the first teams around here, you would be National League every year. Like the talent that we have. That's another way. So then you refine it, and then everybody can be run their clubs and their social capacities out there. But then the talent development, where you need that guidance, is all in one place. And then and there's a lot of top coaches around and experience around to help run that one single identity. But if you're doing multiple, you either need that, what you discussed, or you need to bring them into one identity. So I mean, there's different ways you can do it, but it's it takes a lot of working together. I tell the Waikato's pretty toxic. The football side of things, it always has been. It's pretty tough to break that down. I mean, like going to the Johnny Connings fundraising games. Oh, I love it, because that's when everyone drops the bullshit, and everybody just I remember we got relegated last year, and I was showing up. It was the first one, and I was like, oh, fuck, like all my mates, all my coaching mates, all the players I played against and coached, and everyone's going to be talking shit, and fair enough. But like you're like, here comes the banter and all this shit, and no one said a word. It wasn't about that. It was about coming together for a good cause, having a laugh, catching up with mates that you used to play with, and I love those days. Like I really do, and I think we could get there. It's possible because I've seen it, but it's then you go back and the bullshit and the rumors and the negative, and some people love it. I just think it's
some people thrive off it. The club segregation is fucking terrible. Like even just playing 5-a-side, like fuck it. No, I never played football to a very high competitive standard. I love playing 5-a-side because I get to fucking play with mates and just kick a ball around and have a bit of fun. But you can even see it at that level. It's it's the I don't want to throw any clubs out there, but you can clearly tell that there's segregation in clubs, and they think different of you because you play for that club, and bro, people thrive off of fucking politics and drama and bullshit, and it's fucking terrible. I get dragged into it all the time, and I really have to be like, fuck, man, just fuck up, because I hate that, and then I find myself getting sucked into it, and I'm like, actually, just stop doing that. I do have what I think is a difficult question. I get a lot of high performing athletes on this, a lot around CrossFit. So if there's any CrossFitters still listening, thanks. This might be a bit just for this area and what you have been doing in the last year. How do you, because you're involved with West Ham, Papamoa still?
Yep.
Te Awamutu. Ties with Melville, maybe not. I don't know. Is that gone now? Okay.
Gone.
How do you, and now head coach, Wanderers, newly appointed, how are you being fair to these other clubs if your main focus is to get Wanderers to win the league? How are you navigating that?
That different, because my role at TA is different than my role at Papamoa, different than my role at West Ham. So West Ham, my role is to help put in place things. So I've put in place a head of youth, and his job description is to do all the coaches under him. And he also takes the first team, and he needs that space to be himself. Right. I'm here if he needs some help, but he needs that space. I set the curriculum, and then he implements it and teaches his coaches, and then I'm here if the board needs me and stuff like that, and coach education and stuff. So that's different. TA, I'm on the grass a lot. I'm doing the academy. I'm doing all that type of stuff. Papamoa is an advising role for the first team and the director of football, and it's working with them in certain different aspects. And then Wanderers is obviously coaching. So like, I'm here to win the league, and I'm here to get them back to where they should be. So that's the coaching side, and signing players and all that stuff. So they're all different roles within themselves, and they have different attentions for it. But I'm like constantly on the phone calls to everybody, doing the best I can, because I'll never take a role that I don't think I can give my full to. And like I'll write my job description for them to say, like, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Do you want that or not? And, so I found that's best, because when I was young, I used to just, whatever you write, I'll do, and I'll over commit. But now I go, well, I can do this in the time that I have. I think this is effective for you guys. What do you think? And if they say yes, then I can take it. If they say no, then, it's all good. So, I work it out based on that. And,
I think even answering that question, there's going to be people out there that probably go, oh, yeah, bullshit, whatever. Is a really good answer. I wish you the best with Wanderers, to be fair. I've, jokes aside, I've always supported Wanderers over.
You trying to get signed?
What? Basically, you saw me last night at five-a-side. I scored a goal and an assist.
The fourth, so looking for a player.
We don't. Now, my older brother played for. Actually, my cousin Jackson Houlihan. He played. He would have been Jackson roughly back then, but he played first team. My brother, I don't think he ever cracked the first team. I've got a lot of talented footballers in my family.
Yeah,
I never. I just, as soon as it got to me, man. Yeah. That's cool. I'm a good coach.
Sure.
Yeah, sweet, bro. Thanks. Thanks. Where are we going from here? We're going to wrap it up. I've got a few questions I'd like to end it on. Before I get to those, where do you want to see? And all we can ever do is our own opinions, right? And this doesn't have to be like what your impact. What do you want to see inside the space, inside New Zealand? Where do you see New Zealand football being healthy as far as you're concerned? Like, your opinions on that?
Find a better source of money, a more reliable source that's not draining the clubs. Educate the clubs on how to run the clubs. I think that's a massive one. From the top down. And then, and they started to do this when they came to Tauranga, but really push out being working together. Really go out and push that, and really get the clubs to kind of merge if they have to merge, if that's the solution, But yeah, clear guidance from how a blueprint. Here you go. This is how you run a club. Message me if it's different, and I'm sure they've looked at it, and I'm sure they're doing, I'm sure there's things that are stopping them, right? Like we always have our opinions, and like we're just talking about it, but like, that could be my opinion, but and then they might invite me to a meeting one day and I'll go, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you can't do that. And,
Right. Yeah.
so I only know the 10%, like I said, like as a football fan, I only know the 10% that I see from the outside. So that's just what I've seen from working within clubs, that they need guidance. But I don't know what the restrictions are or what they're actually trying to do or what it is. So
It's good that you can also pull yourself up on that. Like you said before, people watching you only know 10%. It's good that you can pull yourself up on it and go, I can have all these opinions, but also I don't know the full story. So maybe I can't form a complete opinion on it.
It's hard, eh? Sometimes you just get sucked
Yeah.
into like your opinions, and like you said before, like you did it too. Like you felt like you're getting sucked in, and then you had to pull yourself out. And I think it's a natural human behavior. But if you can suck yourself out, you're working on it.
And it's having people around you as well to be like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like that's stupid. And then it's like, oh yeah, and having those people that you trust, and you do the same for them. One serious question and then one not so serious, but it is serious. Okay. But the serious one is, what are 3 things that you need, like yourself and the people around you, to buy into, like 3 things that they have to for you to live this high performing life?
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
I always say 3 and I usually get one answer back. So
I can't tell anybody how to be. That's what I figured out. Like, what's right, what's wrong. But for me, based off who I am, I get along with, or I'm more compatible with people that are more genuine. Like to me, you've got to be genuine.
Right.
Like, I think that's such a big trait for me. You got to be resilient, and you got to be hardworking. And I guess the same trait in the first is like you got to be honest as well.
Right.
But how can I sit here and tell you like what you have to be? But I know like what I'm not going to be surrounded by, which is probably a better, easier answer, is not going to be surrounded by people that, use their trauma, are defensive, can't take anything in, can't ask for help, can't talk. If they do talk ill about others all the time, like that's what we just talked about, like surrounding yourself with the good people is like, I can't have that around me because I don't want to get sucked into that. And when something doesn't go well for me, it's quite natural to go like, I don't know, oh, it's not working over there for that coach. Oh yeah, okay. And it makes me feel a quick like dopamine. It makes me feel a little bit like good for a second, but then think about it, you're like, come on, like they've probably got their own struggles. It's just stupid. I'm just getting a fake, a hit of confidence. So yeah, it's more what you can't be around me, I guess. But I can't tell people what to be.
Yeah, no, very good. And then the most serious question: was the Taupo Claudelands game rigged?
That's what a crazy question. What a crazy end to the season.
I had to get it out there for Ricky. Okay.
Yeah, shout out Ricky. Absolutely love Ricky.
That was fucking wild.
Crazy, right? So we just had ours, obviously, like 8 minutes of 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Finish 2-1, get promoted. So that was the highs, like the super low to high nuts. Then the week after that happens, and it's like, because Travis does coaching for me at TA, and he was involved. And I remember I was like, oh, what's the goal difference like? And he's like, nah, we're well ahead. And that was 2 games ago. I was like, sweet. And you just got to win. Cool. And then, so I never checked on it. And then, I saw that result came in and they didn't get promoted. And by the way, Ricky's done an unbelievable job. I want that known. Like he's done a fantastic job. And that's, to lose on goal difference is rough, right? But also in saying that, I don't, Matt Milner, who's the coach of Claudelands, I know Danny Milner very well. He's been with me at Melville. He's a fantastic. Their family is unbelievable. Simon means a lot to me. He would never, ever, ever, ever think like that. I don't think, like I was talking to someone about this. I was like, I don't think as a player you could ever do that. Like you could joke about it and talk about it, but could you ever go on the field and like, can you physically like play shit? Like give the ball away to them and score own goals? Or I don't even think that's physically, mentally possible. And for what? Like, for what? Like, I don't. Yeah, it's just when people started, saying that, I don't think it's possible. But it would have hurt Ricky. He'd done such a good job, and it would have hurt Northern that they did what they thought they needed to do. And then Joe O'Donoghue, who's given me nightmares when I coached Papamoa, scores 33 goals. 38 or something.
Yeah.
Is just comes back and gets it. So I don't know. I just think it's football, but it's what a hell of an end.
It was great fuel for people that love to spread rumors.
Yes.
Massive, and like you said, it is a crazy end. Ricky's an amazing coach. Oh, I was blown away.
But football, right? Like sorry to go back to it, but to us, we were 8 minutes away from losing, not getting promoted, and we get a penalty, and then we get a last minute header. Like that's just nuts, right? And then we get promoted, and then other teams had to lose, and like just absolute chaos of football. That's what it is. But I don't think sometimes there's a need to put us an answer to everything. Sometimes there is no answer to it. It just is what it is.
The way it
and
happened,
that's just football, and that's why we love it or we hate it at times. And it was it definitely gave fuel. I saw all the comments and people were talking about it. I was just, you're not serious, but they were. Some people were. So
100%.
I think it's just very bored lives, very boring lives to go like, goal difference. Yep. Rigged. Let's go around to convince everybody, for the ones that had nothing to do with it. I'm talking about like these people that just saw the result and go, well, I'm going to bump into someone and say it was rigged. I just think it's hilarious.
100%. All right. We'll leave it there, Jarrod.
Brilliant.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Easy.
Cheers, man.
Keep an eye out, team. New head of football in New Zealand.